Hey traders and investors, it's Rod with Power Group. Welcome back on the Pursuit of Wealth for a daily market recap. Today is a review for Tuesday, March 16th. Hope everyone is doing well. Just as a heads up, I'm going to be doing everything in one video, so we'll do the overall broader market and we'll look at the MJ space as well. So first we'll go through some news and events on the day, and then we'll look at the broader market and the MJ space. But before we do, make sure to smash the like and subscribe to the channel. So Dow retreats from record, and we have the Fed rate coming up here later this week, tomorrow on Wednesday. So we'll see likely just some profit taking ahead of that. We're at record highs, and we saw retail sales came in, fell 3% in February versus 0.5% drop expected. Taking a look at some other news. So we had Village Farms come in. They had a beat on EPS, huge beat, and they missed on revenues. So this was something that we mentioned in yesterday's video, which was to be careful because we run about 50% from the lows on Village Farms. So if they didn't crush the earnings, they crushed the EPS, but they didn't crush the revenues. So therefore the stock sold off today, and was a clue today that we were going to see daily consolidation as it broke the low of pre-market, and then that basically indicated daily consolidation, and we saw that follow through for most of the sector. So we saw the numbers come in at 11 on EPS versus 0.028 expected, and they were expecting 52 million in revenue, and it came in at 47.36. So a pretty big miss there. Columbia Care Q4 revenue increases 56% sequentially to 76 million. We also have GTII after the bell, so you can check out Columbia Care. I'm not going to go into it just in effort of time, and I've got an appointment to run to, so we're going to move on in effort of time. So we're expecting 8 cents on the EPS for Green Thumb, and those numbers should be out soon, and 215 million in revenue. So we'll see if we can get a beat there. We also have Sundial earnings tomorrow after the bell. So if you're going to play earnings or not play earnings, you'll have to figure that out by end of day tomorrow, as it's after the bell. And then you'll also have to figure out your positioning for Hexo, as Hexo has earnings on the 18th on Thursday in the morning in pre-market. So it's going to be a final day of trading. So we'll see what we can expect in the markets tomorrow, whether or not SPY is going to consolidate. So we'll check back later on Green Thumb's numbers. Haven't seen them come out yet. It looks like it signed me out here, but I was going to bring up the SQDC. Hexo had a couple new products out. So they have the new Lemon Haze product that is out, and they also have Gelato. And shout out to QC in our group, in the Power Group community, who said that there was a supply agreement between Hexo and another producer, and it's possible that that was Canara Biotech, and potentially selling that under the Powered by Hexo brand. But that'd be awesome if we saw Hexo get into the craft growing space. So again, log me out there, but we'll continue an effort of time here. Mountain Valley MD, so this was halted yesterday pending news at request of the company. And we came out and we found out that they are commencing trials in Bangladesh, striking pharmaceutical production agreements, and they have an agreement there with the government. So some contracts and a lot of positives. So check out that on your own time, but very bullish in our group on MVMD. I've got a position around the 150s average. So taking a look at the crypto space, we are bouncing back here. We lost 54,000 on Bitcoin, but we're back over 56,000, and the market is rebounding quite nicely here. Cardano surged about 25% on news that it's going to be uplisting to Coinbase on Thursday on the 18th. So Thursday is going to be an interesting day. Bitcoin's still consolidating on the daily. We saw a new lower low today, so we need to change that 4-hour trend back to an uptrend to be confident, but we're still in a daily higher low. Most important support down at 46,219. And we're still in a daily uptrend, but we did come down, and potentially that could be our temporary bottom after holding EMA 26. So again, we want to see a 4-hour trend change and a 4-hour higher low and higher high. So we do have the low, high, higher low. So if we break the high here of 56,444, that'd give us our 4-hour higher low and higher high and trend change, and the daily higher low likely set at that point. So rebounding nicely here. So we'll see if Bitcoin can get its daily bounce underway on the next daily candle. We've got about just under 4 hours of this daily candle left. So taking a look at the broader market, so SPY likely favoring a daily inside bar tomorrow with the way that we closed here, basically in the middle of that range. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw an inside bar and some potential weakness tomorrow. We have come quite a ways, and it seems like it might have been a little bit of a rush. And like I said, we didn't really have that clear pivot point. Again, I wouldn't argue if you wanted to say that was a daily higher low and bull flag and a trend change. I wouldn't argue with you. But it's not a very clear daily higher low and pivot point at 391.20. That's the most important daily support at this point. And then the secondary support would be 395.08, the low of the day today. We'll want to maintain that and hold that level going into tomorrow. If we lose that level, we start daily consolidation, and then we'll be looking down to 391.20. But ideally, if you're like me and you're a market bull and you're an MJ bull and you're looking to play Hexo earnings going into Thursday, generally I don't play earnings by a rule of thumb, but I was in Hexo in the early $3 and I sold over 100% gains, so I took out my original investment and I've been scaling back in ever since I scaled out around $7, $8, $9, and $10, and now I'm slowly scaling back in around $7, $6, and $5. And like I said, just only swinging those profits. So if you're looking for the best case scenario, like me, if you're a bull, you want to see SPY consolidate tomorrow, see some healthy consolidation given how far we've run in such a short period of time, come down, form a daily higher low, and that would be healthy consolidation. And that would be set up well. So sundial earnings tomorrow after the bell. So if we see daily consolidation on SPY tomorrow, that would be welcomed, in my opinion, because then we would have that daily higher low. Let's say we get a clear daily higher low, we come down and say we double bottom off that support at 391.20, or we form a higher low, say we pull back to 392. Even that would be a significant pullback at that point. You know, we'd be looking at a pullback of around 1% or so. So if we pulled back 1% and held that support and then broke to a higher high, then we'd be really confident that we could see follow through from 400. But we're starting to stall out a little bit here. We got very close to that 400 level on SPY, and we could very well hit it tomorrow. But again, if you're like me, you're hoping for daily consolidation tomorrow, and that healthy consolidation, which would translate into a good market environment, in my opinion, for the MJ financial results. So the dollar on the day still bouncing. It's a potential, we're forming a potential bottom here off EMA 12. So we're still in a daily uptrend and it's still holding. So EMA 12 is going to be very, very important on the dollar, but we also risk forming a daily downtrend here. So if we form a lower high and then lose support at 91.36, we'd enter a downtrend on the dollar, which would be bullish for stocks. So we'll just skim through these a little bit quicker here. So IWM had a weak day today, daily consolidation. QQQ didn't consolidate, closed the day up about 0.5% green. SMH up over 1%. Saw its daily bounce, so we saw some rotation out of healthcare and financials, IWM, and money rotating back into tech. I mentioned this last week that we could see rotation, and I mentioned it yesterday as well, that we could see just back and forth, as that has been the trend all along. SPY hasn't started consolidation on the daily. TAN down, solar sector 2%, over 2% daily consolidation underway. Oil still consolidating on the daily. The metals, so went to attempt a daily trend change. Gold got up to 1741. The resistance to break was 1739. We broke it, but we didn't convincingly break it, so we have yet to see our daily trend change yet, but gold very, very close to changing its daily trend. Silver needs to break 2645. So biotech sector was down, daily consolidation underway, down over 1.5%. So again, the more names that start daily consolidation, the more potential likelihood that other broader market sectors and ETFs could see the same. XLE, energy sector consolidating, not surprising with the weakness in oil. Financial sector consolidating here on the daily off the EMA 12. So looking to form a base of support there. And XLV still seeing its daily bounce. Could see an EMA 12 and 26 bull cross. So the healthcare sector is just straight off the lows here at 109.93. And it's time to start being a little cautious on the healthcare, in my opinion. Could be a daily inside bar tomorrow as well. So we'll be keeping an eye on the broader market, but a lot of names starting daily consolidation. We'll see if SPY sees a gap down or an inside bar and whether or not it sees its daily consolidation. So MVMD started daily consolidation, potentially bouncing off EMA 26 here, and that support is at 153. We closed the day at 165, but we were down over 10%, so bit of a sell the news reaction there. VEGA, Riot, DDD leading the decline. On the bull list, we had MU, Facebook, TAP, Molson Coors, Intel, Apple, Google, so big tech basically holding the market up today and was heavily targeted by the money managers. So we'll move into the MJ space. So just taking a look at the bull and bear list, so there wasn't a whole lot of green. We had Tilray, VFF, APHA, OGI leading the decline, and RIVN leading the way up, and NSP was flat on the day. So again, VFF earnings, a lot of people, probably thought, oh, those numbers are pretty good, but again, they missed on revenue by quite a bit, and their EPS was great, right? There was 11, and it surprised by 2,300%. But again, the revenue was a little less than favorable, and we are just coming off a huge run of about 50% into earnings. So it was a sell the news reaction. And like I said, we needed to absolutely crush, which we didn't crush both estimates. And that's why we're seeing this daily consolidation. And we had that clue today. I did a video for private members this morning saying if we lose the low of the day, then daily consolidation will be underway. And then in pre-market, we lost that low. And then I said, sure enough, watch for other names in the sector to follow suit. And then one by one, we started to see more and more names lose their low of yesterday. APHA lost $20 psychological, hit 1994, but holding well. Definitely one of the leader bulls. And SNDL hasn't started its daily consolidation leading into earnings. So same thing, the more we run here, we've already run about 100% from where we called this out. We called this out around 93. We had support at 93. We entered on that pullback in the Dow group. And a lot of people followed us on that trade. And huge move. Running into earnings up over almost 100%, sitting at about 88%. And again, the more we run into earnings, the more they're going to have to absolutely crush the estimates. It looks like the estimate on the EPS is negative 0.03 cents. So again, more and more names, one by one, started to knock off those lows from yesterday. And we need to be watching out for inverse head and shoulders. We're seeing inverse head and shoulders everywhere. So if we take a look at Hexo here, we've got the left shoulder, right shoulder, the head. Just clean this up a little bit here. So not the most clear, but got a lot of lines, and I keep deleting it. It keeps coming back. I don't know why TradingView is doing that. Let me know in the comments below if TradingView's been a little funky in that regard for you lately, but it's very frustrating. I'll delete the lines and then they come right back the next day. So like I said, you need to be watching out for inverse head and shoulders. We had resistance at $8 psychological on Hexo and 806, and we got as high as $8, so we hit that $8 resistance, and here we are going straight into daily consolidation, and these inverse head and shoulders are pretty much everywhere. So we also have EMA 12 on the weekly, which is sitting at 659. So if we were to consolidate further on the daily, we could target that level at 659. What's also good about, important about that level as well is that is the left shoulder on the IHS. So if we have weekly EMA 12 at 659, we could, if we lose the EMAs here tomorrow and the low of the day tomorrow, We'll see further daily consolidation, and like I said, a potential bounce here around 660, 670. And I've got orders. I added a bit of hexo today on daily consolidation. I think I filled around 736. I've got orders at about 725, 710, 690, 670, 650, all the way down to about $6. And those will expire at the end of the day tomorrow. So I'm just scaling back in after scaling out into strength. I was selling at about 9, 8, 7, 8, 9, even sold at $10. I was all out at that point, and then hit $11, and then that's when we started the daily downtrend. And ever since, I've been scaling back in around 7 and 6, and even got some under $6. And now I'm just looking for that daily higher low. And IHS, if we can form that right shoulder, targeted move. So if we were to confirm that, we'd be looking at about a measured move to about the $10 range. And we have resistance, recent highs up at 1104. So if we do see a favorable reaction here to earnings, I'm very bullish leading up into earnings. We could easily test $10 to $11 in my opinion. So look at those IHSs out there very, very closely. A lot of names starting them. And again, we haven't changed the daily trend on a lot of names either. So we have to be aware that there's a lack of support on the daily here on most names, and a lot of names still haven't changed the daily trend. So as far as we're aware, this is just a dead cat bounce at this point. But bulls are hoping for an inverse head and shoulders and then form that daily higher low and right shoulder, and then see a break of resistance up at $8 after that higher low forms, confirm a daily uptrend, and ideally see SPY consolidate tomorrow as well, and see that consolidation take place at the same time, and that would be favorable market conditions and environment for earnings from Sundial and Hexo tomorrow after market and Thursday pre-market. So hopefully that helps with your positioning and your game plan going into tomorrow. Tomorrow is the last day to get positioned into Sundial and Hexo earnings. So MSOS broke the low of yesterday, daily consolidation underway. And like I said, we will be watching SPY. We'll see if we get those, see if we get that follow through. BAM closed the day down about 2.67%. And again, we're seeing inverse head and shoulders pretty much everywhere. And we're seeing more developments and more updates in New York about potential legalization there. They hit an impasse today around the, I think, what was it again? Driving under the influence. So I think they had a little bit of, just a disagreement, or they were just hit a roadblock essentially with regard to that subject. So we'll see if there's any more developments on that front. But on the bull and bear list, we had Harv, Bev, Acreage, KHRN. On the bull list, we had Cara, Truel, and CWeb and GWPH. So we'll just check in on some of our big MSOs. So Cresco starting daily consolidation, Cureleaf daily consolidation, GTII, so earnings here after the bell. We did start daily consolidation, but nice dip buy. And we have resistance up at 45.63. So if we do see bullish numbers, we'll be looking at that resistance potentially coming into play tomorrow. But again, still no daily trend change, so we need to be cautious. And even if they do have great numbers, if SPY ends up being weak tomorrow, that could ruin the fun, so to speak. Truly started daily consolidation, but a massive dip buy off EMA 12 there. And again, hadn't changed the daily trend, and still not a clear higher low and higher high. Generally don't want to see that higher low into a higher high on the same candle, so we're not 100% convinced just yet. But MSOS, seeing its daily consolidation today, will look to hold the low of the day today at 46.27 going into tomorrow. If we lose that, daily consolidation will continue. And we have a little support level here at 43.24, and then nothing until 40.80. So again, last day to prepare tomorrow for Sundial and Hexo earnings. Let me know in the comments below if you're going to be swinging any Hexo or Sundial through their earnings, what your game plan is. Are you scaling in? Are you waiting for those daily higher lows? Love to hear from you. So we're going to leave it there. Again, did everything in one video this video, as I have an appointment to run to, but I'll put some description, some timestamps in the description below as well. So thanks for joining us on the Pursuit of Wealth for a daily market recap, and we'll see you tomorrow after market close. Take care, everybody.